G'day! In today's video, I'm doing a charger port replacement on a Nintendo 3DS. Now, this one does have a bit of armour put on it, which I'll be giving that the boot, as it's definitely not needed for this repair. So to begin with, I'm just going to take off the bottom cover, proceed to take off the cover itself. Now I can't remember if the main board needs to come out on this, but we'll find out soon enough. This one has been out. No, this one has not been out. Take your battery out. Take your SD card out. And now we proceed to take out the various screws. 1, 2, 3, 4. As we can see, so far they've all been the same length. 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. I've got 9 screws taken out from all the perimeter. We do have an extra one over here, which is the first different one of the whole bunch. Now I've got a feeling there is a hidden screw underneath this battery sticker. Now I'm just tipping it up from the back. So there is no hidden screw, which is handy, but there is a connected cable. A couple of them. That would be for the triggers on the rear. So I'm going to disconnect that one. There's another one over here. Disconnect that one. There we go. I'm going to flip it upside down. Funnily enough, I don't think I'm going to really need to do too much to remove this with my hot air station. So I'm going to put some thermal tape around here and use the hot air station to remove this section. So from here, I'll go get that. I'll zoom in on where I'm going to be using, but what I've got is my quick 861 DW. Not sure what temperature I'll stick that on just yet, so we'll do a little bit of experimenting. So if you're wanting to, you could potentially take the board out. To be on the side of caution, I probably would proceed to do that, but for the sake of speed, I'm going to skip that. That may backfire on me, and I may end up damaging the plastics up here, but I'm not going to be aiming for there, so hopefully, a bit of skill, a bit of luck, I should be able to remove this without really much drama or damage, preferably. Go. So, what will I start on? To begin with, I'll probably start with, I'll go with 240 degrees Celsius at around 60% flow. To give you an idea on what I'm using, ignore the spiral. I'll zoom out for you. This is currently what I'll be using. The quick 861 DW, had this for a few years now, works pretty well. The nozzle, not sure what size that one actually is, but that's what I'll be running at. So let's get you back into perspective. Thread the camera back on, tighten it up so we don't fall off. Actually, one more spiral, not quite. There you guys go. Let's zoom in and see how we go. So 240 degrees Celsius at 60% flow, or 60 flow. There we go, now we're starting to lift. And we're off. So remove the heat off there. Now got it up. Which we are looking at this little tacker, which is only mounted in about 6 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what I'll do is I'm going to grab my soldering iron, use some lead-based solder, and then I'll put a new jack on from there. Now we'll have to wait for my Hakko FX951 to heat up. Not too long though. That's what I'm using at the moment. Now, the reason why I'm adding this solder is it usually lowers the temperature that's required to actually do the solder job itself. There we go. So in theory, this should heat up very easily now. This is the replacement jack that I've got for it, which as you can see, looks pretty darn similar. So my plan right now is to heat this up and just simply press down. Yes, there would be different techniques, but I find this normally goes pretty well for me. So I'm going to drop the Hakko down to 200 degrees Celsius at 60% flow. And get these guys nicely liquid. No, we're not quite there, so we'll need to go back up to 240. You can put the temperature higher, it will heat it up quicker, but then it also increases the risks of damaging the plastic and other components nearby. I find this is normally the best way to go. Right now it's nicely mouldable. I'll just keep moving the heat, distributing it evenly, and line this bugger up. As you can see, I've used too much heat just there. The plastic has started to go. Quite fully reattached. Right from here, what I'm going to do is take this off. simply go back to the Hacko. Bingo. It's not the greatest solder job ever, but that will be perfectly fine. Best to make sure I can open it up. We're looking good on the plastic on the outside, I'd say. I'm going to proceed to reassemble this now, which reassembly is pretty straightforward. One flex connector over here, another flex connector over here. They kind of gravitate towards where they should be connected just because they've been there their whole life and made for that location. So typically reassembly of these isn't too bad. Unless you need to replace the top screen, which I found feeding that flex cable in to be absolutely evil. That's another day, another story. There we go, 1, 2, both connected. Fold it down like a book and around the back. So we do want to kind of rotate it down here. As you can see, a little bit of damage here from the heat, just over this corner. Mostly that should be perfectly fine and functional. So now we proceed to put in 9 of our screws, 10 of our screws. And then that should be one replaced jack. The alternative that you can do is just use the soldering iron the whole time. If you break the old charger port up into smaller fragments, you should be able to heat it up and remove them without really doing any damage to the pads themselves. The hot air station does speed up that process. As you say, it didn't really make too much of a difference on the reinstallation of it. If it was smaller, more dense connector, like a micro USB, the hot air would have helped a lot more. Mostly, we're still pretty alright. There would be the potential of replacing that jack with a micro USB. It's something I haven't really looked into myself, but I'm pretty sure I've seen a couple of things online about people doing that, but it is a bit dodgy. But then it becomes a hell of a lot easier to find a charger for it. Here we go, SD card. I feel like I put that in the wrong way. No, the right way. One battery back in. This to the front. Slide it down. Push down, 1 screw, 2 screw, 3 screw, and 4. And we have one replaced micro USB, or not micro USB, one charging port in an old Nintendo 3DS. Hope that helps you, and I'll catch you guys in another video. Bye.